How long will you put up with this BS? Love, addiction, or manipulation? Gaslighting versus love. Is this relationship wrecking you? Is this love or emotional slavery? The truth about narcissistic abuse and your road to freedom. Why is a narcissist love a mental jail? How does this toxic cycle form? And why is it so darn hard to leave? This video isn't just another narcissism explainer. It's for those stuck in a toxic relationship who know it's bad news but can't bail. I know many of you have known for years that this relationship is wrecking your life. Maybe you have tried to ditch them multiple times, but emotional blackmail, financial dependency, or just being scared to be alone pulls you back. A narcissist love is like a Ponzi scheme. Looks legit at first glance, but it's a total ripoff. That'll leave you broke and heartbroken. One successful entrepreneur shared, I got so caught up in his Silicon Valley promises that I skipped the investors' red flags. He called me his rockstar CFO, but really, I was just his ATM, which he would hit up whenever he felt like it. This relationship is like riding a roller coaster at Six Flags with seatbelt busted. Up you feel on top of the world. Down it's total disaster. And each time you think, maybe this time the ride won't be so bumpy. Share in the comments which line hits home the hardest and start jotting down your thoughts because healing starts with a reality check. This is the same knowledge I drop in my private sessions, but here it's even more in depth and relatable. If you're ready for inner healing, let's get this show on the road. Why it's so hard to leave? Have you ever thought that your mind could become a corporate prison where the hope of climbing the ladder is the bright lights and non-compete agreements are the chains? When we are with a narcissist, our brains stuck in a hostile takeover. Love bombing is like a dopamine shot. Silent treatment is like cortisol overloaded. And reconciliation is an oxytocin release. It's an invisible jail where the walls are made of bonus expectations. And we are our own warden. The exit interview's right there. But we still can't ditch this gig. This relationship is like a toxic partnership from hell, where we sacrifice our skills every day and worship false promises. A business family's daughter-in-law shared, every day I would stand in front of the mirror in my designer clothes, but my eyes told the story of my golden cage written in the prenuptial agreement. This situation is like a toxic board meeting where the agenda changes on the fly and we are on the losing end every single time. But we keep playing the game. In a power couple, the husband's gaslighting left his wife so confused that she doubted her basic gut instincts. We are living in a building that's slowly imploding. I know it's toxic, but I still can't walk away. Am I losing my marbles? Am I doing something wrong? The longer we stay in this prison, the weaker our mental game becomes. The time for recovery is now, not later. How long have you been in this invisible slammer? Do you blame yourself? Spill your guts in the comments. This is your safe zone. Physical impact of narcissistic abuse. When we are trapped in this invisible slammer, it's not just our minds that are going haywire, but our entire bodies. Your symptoms aren't just in your head. Your body is trying to tell you something loud and clear. 92% of people who suffer narcissistic abuse show signs of severe burnout, and 84% have physical symptoms of chronic work-related stress. Narcissistic abuse isn't just emotional trauma, it's a total breakdown on your body. Your nervous system is constantly on high alert, and your hormones are all out of whack. These symptoms are your body's distress call. Like a failing startup sends a distress signal to venture capitalists, your body sending you a warning. Physical symptoms include sleep deprivation, insomnia, or just straight up crashing, board meetings related nightmares, a racing heart, and a gradually tanking immune system. One successful entrepreneur shared, I went to the doctor every week. Blood test came back normal, but my body was throwing in the towel. Finally, a therapist explained that my toxic partnership was wrecking my body. These symptoms are like the check engine light on your car. If you keep ignoring it, your engine will be toast. A top lawyer said in court, I was crushing the opposite counsel, but at home, my voice would practically disappear. My throat would tighten up. My body was screaming out what I couldn't admit. The truth was right there in the contract. Your body doesn't lie. The symptoms are real. Trust what your body is telling you. You're not being dramatic. Your body is the ultimate truth serum. What your mind tries to bury, your body will dig up. The more we ignore these symptoms, the more our health takes a nosedive. Your body is screaming for backup. Are you dealing with these symptoms? What signal your body is sending you? Lay it out all in the comments. What symptoms hit home the most? Your experience could validate someone else's. Remember, you're not crazy. You're not alone in this mess. Mental trauma and mind control. Is there a constant war raging in your brain? One voice yelling, this is toxic, get out now. And another whispering, maybe things will turn around. On average, victims of narcissistic abuse experience mental conflict 120 times a day. That's an internal battle every 12 minutes. A victim's mind lives in three parallel realities. Past reality, where there was love bombing and promises of winning the Super Bowl. Present reality, where there's constant anxiety and straight up confusion. Future reality, where there's false hope for that big turnaround. Our mind is like a news channel where three screens shows up different market analysis, bullish, bearish, and stable. And we are watching all three at once. Our mind becomes a courtroom where we are simultaneously the CEO, the shareholders, and lawyers. We are defending and condemning ourselves all at once. What is our daily mental grind? Morning thoughts. Will today be peaceful? Hoping there are no nasty surprises. Afternoon anxiety. Why was the meeting reply so late? What tone should I use? Evening exhaustion. Behavior analysis. Mood prediction. And strategy planning. One company's CEO shared, in board meetings, I'm making complex decisions, but coming home, I'm calculating what mood he'll be in tonight, figuring he would pull some kind of weird stunt. What is our inner monologue cycle? Rationalization. Maybe I'm overreacting. He had a rough childhood. Reality check. This is toxic. How much more can I take? Oh, things will change. I'm betting this time things will be different. Our mental state is like a GPS, showing three routes. A safe but lonely road. Quiet and start fresh. A dangerous but familiar road. Stay and keep grinding. An unknown road. That might be better. Find a mediator. A celebrity couple from LA, the wife confessed, in front of the cameras, we look like a power couple. I smiled at the Forbes summit, but as soon as I got into the car, the anxiety came crashing down. My mind was constantly in performance mode. Our mind becomes a surveillance system, analyzing every micro expression, tone changes, and subtle hint, 24/7 hypervigilance mode. Am I losing it? Are normal business partnerships like this? Am I expecting too much? Am I doing something wrong? Every minute we spend in this mental prison drains our mental peace. Our minds are screaming for a break. Which voice is louder in your mind? Hope or fear? Share in the comments and start writing down your thoughts. It makes the healing process way deeper. Your story can make someone else feel less alone in this hot mess. Why we stay addicted? Have you ever thought that what we think is a secure market share is actually a calculated addiction? Like a drug dealer, a narcissist hooks us, systematically. On average, it takes a victim of narcissistic abuse 7 attempts to break free. That's higher than the corporate's fraud rate. The narcissist addiction is a combo of three powerful forces: intermittent reinforcement, occasional big wins; trauma bonding, a messed up cocktail of pain and attachment; deep rooted fears, loneliness, security, and social judgment. This addition is like a rigged casino game. Sometimes we get a win, which keeps us hooked, even though the house always wins. What are the elements of a trauma bond? Power dynamics. The narcissist control, bigger shareholding; intensity, a messed up mix of love and fear; dependency, fear of living without them. What cultural and social pressures are on us? What will people say? What will they say in the business circle? Fear of hurting family reputation, the stigma of divorce, fear of the company's share value, social status pressure. A daughter of a business family shared, "I had a Harvard degree, but I was hanging on every word like it was gold. That moment would keep me going for months. Maybe it will deliver big profit." What are our core fears? Fear of loneliness, the fear of flying solo; societal fears, what will people say; identity fears, where does my self-worth comes from. Our addiction is like a building whose foundation is built on our deep fears, whose walls are made of social pressure, and whose roof is sealed with intermittent reinforcement. In one power couple, the wife confessed at parties, "We were power couple goals. I had designer handbags and luxury vacations, but I was dying for basic respect. Status kept me in golden handcuffs, and I was the envy of my group." How do we spot these patterns? The face of love bombing, the cycle of silent treatment, hovering tactics, and manipulation. This addiction is like a chess game where our deep fears are pawns, social pressure is the queen, and false hope is the king, and we are being checkmated every time. What's the victim's inner voice? How did I get so weak? Will I ever be free? Will my family disown me? Can I survive alone? Every day we spend in this addiction weakens our inner strength. Breaking free starts with understanding. At what stage are you in your understanding? Do you feel like it's an addiction? Share in the comments which addiction pattern rings the most true. Your realization can become someone else's awakening. The narcissistic abuse cycle. Do you feel like you're stuck in a toxic market cycle where there's boom and bust, but we are always hoping for another bull run? The cycle of narcissistic abuse goes through 4 phases: love bombing, intense attention, compliments, future faking, contract deals, devaluation, criticism, gaslighting, silent treatment, shareholder disputes, then discard, withdrawal, emotional abandonment, deal break, hoovering, fake apologies, promises, love bombing again. This cycle is like a soul-crushing hamster wheel where you keep running in circles but getting nowhere, hoping for a promotion that never comes. A corporate employee shared, "At the office, I was rocking the presentations, but at home, I had to watch every freaking word I said. One tiny slip up, and it's radio silence for weeks. I would do anything to get that acceptance back, hoping I would hear the promotion promise again." What are the withdrawal symptoms? Panic attacks, sleep disorder, eating disorder, anxiety, and being a nervous wreck, chronic anxiety, depression, identity crisis, suicidal thoughts, complete meltdown. One tech guy shared, "I spent my days writing code, but at night I was trembling with anxiety. When she went ice cold on me, I was battling withdrawal symptoms." What happens in the hoovering phases? Fake apologies, over-the-top promises, the love bombing returns, and a luxury car might even show up. Future faking 2.0. Maybe there's a talk of new contract, guilt trips, and victim blaming galore. This cycle is like a roller coaster, where the lows are really low and highs are very short-lived. It doesn't end in joy or satisfaction. All the while your power and confidence have eroded. Where are you in this cycle? Love bombing, devaluation, discard, or hoovering? Share in the comments how many times you have been through it. Just naming the cycle can help you break it. The final trap. Why we stay? Have you ever thought that the door we think is locked is actually locked in our heads? Why do smart, successful people stay in toxic relationships? According to research, even independent and well-educated women are trapped in toxic relationships for an average of 7 to 9 years before finally getting the heck out. Why do we stay? Three powerful forces are in play. Investment trap. Years of shared dreams, sunk cost, and hoping it'll come back to you. Identity crisis. You have lost yourself and your professional identity is blurred as you have to make decisions about whether you take the company down with your marriage. Invisible chains. Fear of taking a different path and changing the current status quo. This situation is like watching the Titanic sink and continuing to hold the life vest so that the others survive. We are in a gilded cage where we have the key, but we are too afraid to use it since we don't know what life would be like on the other side. The daughter-in-law of one powerful family had to concede that even though she was very accomplished with great skill, she was only ever known to be a housewife. We lose our identities, our independence, and eventually our souls in the process. One of these wives even admitted that the image that was presented to the world was far different than the reality she lived. The luxury meant nothing when she was losing her self-worth. What are the invisible chains holding you back? The fear of starting all over? We don't want what the outside world will think. Society doesn't want to condone our actions. We have a difficult time seeing that we can get through this when others are relying on us for our support. We believe it can be done without causing disruption and pain. One of our biggest fear is that people may believe that we failed and we don't want to disappoint those that admire us. What are the questions you should be asking yourself? How will my actions affect those around me? Is there a better way? I don't think I have enough to offer. Would I want this for my kids? Are they going to judge me if I can't cope? How am I going to show up? You get one life to live. How do you want to spend it? It may be scary now, but what is on the other side? Will they even care about how you feel? Is this truly who you want to be? You'll have your own path that you have control over, and you can make this what you choose. When you finally decide what you want, remember, you have the key to the golden handcuffs. Take control of your life today because you can choose to live the life of your dreams instead of waiting to take your last breath. Remember, you don't have to do this on your own. What is your breaking point? And when do you stop feeling responsible for everyone but yourself? Let us help you find a way to start thinking of yourself and discover what looks like for you. Comment and share if you have a similar story. Help us inspire you with a beginning that you will want to write today. There are a lot of resources in the comments for you to reach out to because you deserve to get out now. Sometimes you need to write it out to get it out. There is so much that can happen in that space, and we are here for you to remind you that it's okay to ask for help. Know that the choice is always there, and we are here to remind you that we can help you. Let's recap here. We know that loving a narcissist has broken you. It's a disease that infects your mind, heart, and soul. Let's take a minute and think. How often have you stared at your phone waiting for their message? How many nights did you lose sleeping trying to analyze what happened? How many times have you been let down? Now it's time to accept that you are worth the fight. It doesn't have to be this way. And this is not something that you can do alone. We have some great resources to help you get started. Reach out to the number in the comments for help. Just reach out today. All you have to say is, I have been a victim of abuse and I deserve help in order to get out. This will allow us to connect with you and learn how you have been abused and where you stand. We don't want to waste any time on teaching you how this happens. We want to get you on the right track today. It's all about being in the right frame of mind. call us. We want to help you get out now. There is a new beginning for you and a story waiting to be written today. And remember, you can and you will heal. Just start today. Thank you.